Hi, it's the bewitching hour of 5:30. We'd like to begin the zoning board of appeals hearing. First, I'd like to introduce ourselves. I'm Kathleen Bronner, chair.
Brian Tronke, member.
Dakota Richards, member.
Ron Harrop, member. Jeremy Carrier, member.
Ryan O'Toole, town council.
To open the hearing, I should say, I'd like to read the notice that was posted. The Granby Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, October 8th, 2024, commencing at 5:30 at 1 Library Lane, Old Carnegie Library, top floor, to consider the following petition. 1. Appellant Naomi and John Simonik, 193 Amherst Street, are appealing a letter from the Granby Building Commissioner zoning officer under section 4 overlay district regulations of the Granby zoning bylaws applicable of section 4.2 agricultural preservation district and Granby general bylaws chapter 23 right to farm bylaw and MGL Chapter 40A, Section 3 at 193 Amherst Street, and known as Assessor's Map 2-B-3 in the town of Granby, Mass. In addition to the above hearing, the Board of Appeals may conduct other agenda items following said hearing as time permits. This notice is given pursuant to Chapter 48 and Chapter 39, Section 23B of the Massachusetts General Laws. So thank you for everyone for being here. And before we begin, I think what we'd like to do, the best way is to turn it over to our town council attorney, Brian O'Toole.
And again, for those of you that were here last week, I kind of started off with saying, well, it's never a good thing when the town council starts off the hearing, because it probably means that through the course of either the filings or going through everything, I noticed something, and what that particular thing was in this point was the correspondence that was sent to the Zeomics from the building commissioner, Damian Cody, dated August 2nd. And to the board, I would point to, looks like it's the 4th paragraph, last sentence that really caught my eye here. Which says, at this time, no violation has been cited since this event has not occurred. And also said, if you'd like to go over what is permissible for use of the land, we can make an appointment to discuss. This will include what is as of right and consider the relief that you have received with the special permit site plan review. Reading that, I said, well, usually under section 7, there's usually an order, okay, whether it be a cease and desist or something along those lines. But what it sounded to me like, it was an invitation to come in and go talk to the building inspector about what was proposed to be going on that day. And so I did what I should do. I called up the building inspector, or the building commissioner. I asked him, and you'll notice he's not here today, so I guess you'll have to kind of take my word for it. And asked him, was this an order pursuant to section 7, something that would be appealable to this board here under section 8? His answer to that was no. Okay, that it really was an invitation to come in and talk. And I pointed out that, while the bottom of your correspondence here, violation of town of Granby bylaw, seems to be somewhat boilerplate language. Did you he said he put that at the bottom of all the correspondences that came in the Zeomics in this case, seeing that, did in fact file this appeal to preserve any appellate rights that they would have. So I suppose, and I did speak before the meeting got started. Attorney Pill, who's here with the Zeomics today, we discussed this, and I said I don't know that there's an appealable decision or order here from the building commissioner to be considered by this board. Based upon the August 2nd, 2024 correspondence from the building commissioner. That is my opinion. Attorney Pill, I think, at least at this stage, agrees with that. That certainly doesn't mean that in the future, I think that the Zeomics should take up the building commissioner here on the invitation, if they haven't already, for an event like this in the future, because as we know from last week, and I'm sure we'll hear from some folks here today, that there's a lot of confusion going around about what is and what isn't authorized. And I'm not going to get into that today because something may come down the line later on. And I'm going to first rely upon the building commissioner to make a decision if and when it comes time to make that decision. Now, if the building commissioner had sent out another letter after this event, if it had occurred and it was an order or some sort of decision, we'd be having a different conversation here today. Because I'm sure the Zeomics, with the assistance of Attorney Pill, would have filed a similar appeal. And then we would have some substantive discussions here today. But at least it is my opinion, after talking with the building commissioner, that this was not an order under 40A Section 7, that the ZBA would be deciding under Section 8 here today. And if I just said a bunch of word salad there, please feel free to ask questions, and I'll do my best to rephrase and clarify.
Thank you. Thank you, Attorney Pill. We'll open it up certainly for the public, but just for the committee questions for our town council in regards to the letter assessment, and then I'll open it up for the community.
No
No
questions. I'm
questions?
Full agreement with this assessment.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. And is there anyone here who'd like? Please.
My name is Michael Bell, and I'm here for the filming.
Mike.
Did you go to the microphone?
We're
gonna give you a mic.
I'm sorry, I got to go pop the microphone. Okay, sorry about that.
We're broadcasting, Attorney Pill, so
Okay,
Oh, thank you.
is this, well, you're a gentleman and a scholar, sir. Thank you. Okay. Okay, just leave it, okay, is this
They're
okay?
fine.
Okay. In any event, it's sometimes when you practice law, you have to adopt what's called belt and suspenders, because it did have the language in there that said if you want to appeal, the risk you run is, well, what if you don't appeal and it turns out it was an appealable order? Then you're up a creek. And basically, although no lawyer wants to admit to having a heart. I mean, I sue people for a living, and so pit bull's sometimes one of the nicer things I'm called. But what I could see is that Naomi and John what they are is like a lot of the people I grew up with in a small Iowa town. They're people who are trying to make a go of a small family farm, and what they're doing are having events and producing products and essentially doing whatever they can to help make ends meet. And to me, that's very personal. My immigrant grandpa had a men's clothing store, and when the family farms died, he sat me down and he said, "This is gone. You better go to college." And that's why I had to go to college and law school. Okay. And, especially in these times, I think having local people who produce food we may not fully appreciate the value of that, but sometimes times can get real hard. And in any event, these folks touched me in a way that not many folks do. So I'm here on what they call a pro bono basis, just trying to help them out. And the key, I think, is because of the breadth of your right to farm bylaw and the state law zoning exemption, I think they can do what they're doing. But yes, they may need an entertainment license, a one-day liquor license, and to comply with other bylaws. And they want to do that, okay? For example, I had a meeting with Naomi and John and your town administrator and a nice lady. Is it okay still to call a female person a lady? I mean, there was that poor guy in
Still
East
works.
Hampton. Okay, from the select board, and we talked all about that. And I think it helped them understand a lot about some of the hoops they need to jump through, for example, to have events. And they want to comply with all of that, okay? And if I can be of assistance with any of that, for gosh sakes, anybody should feel free to call me up or send me an email. And what is very impressive, and you should know that, is I didn't spot what he spotted. And when he pointed it out to me, your attorney, I think he was right, okay? And what that means is that opens the door to a win-win resolution. In other words, what you can do is decide that you don't have jurisdiction because it wasn't an appealable order after all, and that's great, okay? Then we can all go home, and there's really no winner and no loser. And it's an excellent resolution, and the only thing about it is I wish I'd spotted it, but you know, you're fortunate to have him, and it was good visiting with him. And you know, once in a while, despite what some folks think of our profession, we can help resolve conflicts and avoid them. So I guess that's about what I had to say. But if anybody's got any questions, I guess I should get out of the way so any of the folks in the public can talk if they want. Anybody have questions right now?
I don't
All right.
think we do, sir, but thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, any other thoughts, comments from the public? If not, I'll name and address.
Rich Simeracki, 428 Bachelor Street.
Okay.
I just want to say, I think the bylaws in this town are a mess. They're so confusing. You need a liquor license, one day, 2-day liquor license. You need a license from the Board of Health. The Board of Health has a whole bunch of stipulations you have to have for tents, for waste disposal, food disposal. The police get involved for traffic. There are so many permits involved. How does, the system in this town is lousy. And that's about, so anyone trying to start a business has a real hard time. They want to do the right thing, but they just don't know. There should be at least a package put together where you hand someone a package and it summarizes everything they need. I don't know if we even have that. I doubt we do. But something has to be done because there's problems right from the start, from the planning board. I think there's going to be a move to eliminate venues from our bylaws completely at the annual town meeting, which that's where some of the problems start. This town does not have anything in any bylaw that says public venues are allowed. They are not allowed in Granby at all. Private venues are allowed now, but the permit doesn't specify private. They specify the correct bylaw reference, but they don't mention the word private at all, which that starts the problem. So some people, I know the Amherst Street tried to get a liquor license for 2 events, and one was turned down because it was a public event, not allowed. The other one was approved, it was allowed because it was a private event. So that starts part of the problem. There are just too many things that they're so confusing. Now, you probably don't even believe this, but section 5.14 of our bylaws, they're mentioned, that particular bylaw, it's mentioned in 2 different places, and the wording is different. The exact same number, 5.14. And it's listed in 2 different places. Open space meeting and private venues. That's where you will see 5.14 in different wording. Now, I think the planning board just had a public hearing. They were going to rewrite their some zoning bylaws. But how do those bylaws relate to other existing bylaws? Who knows? But it's very confusing now. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. No further conversation. Could I hear a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion to close the public hearing on this.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And now we'll have our, the public meeting. And I'm looking for possible guidance from you or for the committee, okay? In making a motion, I'm going to do something for the record that we, similar probably to last week.
To last week, yes.
That we don't have a motion, that we neither have the authority or the jurisdiction to address the letter of, the application, for the appeal as it relates to the August 2nd.
Correct. That the ZBA will take no action on the appeal because the board does not have jurisdiction, and this is going to get wordy, I suppose,
Yeah,
over this matter as the August 2nd, 2024 correspondence from the Town of Granby Building Commissioner was not in order or
was
or-
that cease
or-
or desist?
was not an order or decision under Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 7.
No decision. Under section
40A,
7.
Section 7.
Could I have a motion?
Can I make a motion under the wording of
Attorney,
Attorney O'Toole's that we do not have
the
the
authority.
authority or jurisdiction over this matter?
Could I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Being no further business, would I have room to close?
Except you.
Oh, yes, why don't we, the only other matter we have, I distributed earlier, the minutes from the September.
Thank you all very much.
Okay, thank you. The September 23rd and October 1st ZEA minutes. Could we have a motion
Thank
to
you.
accept these with record?
I make a motion to accept the zoning board of appeals public hearing meeting minutes for September 23rd, 2024 as written.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
How about the
Number 2.
number
I
2?
make a motion to accept the Granby zoning board of appeals public hearing meeting minutes for October 1, 2024 as written.
Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye. This time I make a motion with no other further discussion or business to close the,
I second that motion.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.